Look who it is. The man wants to see the interior. All right, guys, thank you for being here with me today. I am going to be talking to the designer of this new incredible ribbon panel speaker, Clarisys.
Clarisys.
Tell us a little bit about this new panel. I mean, I love what I heard.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
The last 3 days I've been here. Introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your company, how long you guys been in business, all of that.
All right, sure. So my name is Florian. I'm actually from Switzerland, and the company was founded over 10 years ago in Vietnam and Hanoi. And it's really a collaborative effort across 3 countries. So it's really Switzerland, Vietnam, and Singapore. And we've been developing these speakers for over 10 years. And it's our first launch into the North American market with our partner Mike from Suncoast Audio.
Thank you. What made you select? What made you pick? Because I know you go through a lot of different brands. When you're trying to handpick the next product you want to put your name behind.
Exactly. We evaluated them last year for the better part of all of last year. So we had different models come in, the Minuet, the Studio Plus, the Minuet, which is here at the show on the 9th floor, and we just love what we heard. It gave us an opportunity to listen to them in the store, try different electronics, try different cables, and really evaluate the speaker. And we've always wanted to have a panel speaker in the lineup. We just couldn't find the right one, and finally we did with Clarisys.
Tell me what made you select this? What's special about the speaker in your opinion, since you've been in front of so many different speakers? I
knew when this speaker was keeping me in the store at night, way past 5 o'clock, this was the right one. One more song, one more song, one more song. I knew this was the right one.
That's interesting that you say that, because I know you used to be a fan of, I am a fan of panels, like my whole life, right?
You are.
Came from Martin Logan Neolith, lots of the Magnapan 20.7, so I was quite excited to hear your design. Now, full transparency, when I posted about 3-4 videos on my channel, people were asking, is this a replica of Apogee speakers, which were $10,000 back in 1980, right? Or around there.
Well, they have different,
I was little at that point.
Different models. So they actually started from about $4,500 in the 80s all the way up to $85,000 back in the 80s.
Really?
So you have a huge range, yes.
I didn't know that, okay.
So absolutely, we are, frankly speaking, a shameless copy made better.
Shameless company.
So shameless copy made better.
Yes. So we are huge Apogee fans. And I have one of the biggest personal collections of Apogee speakers until this day at my home. So for us, it was really a shame when they went out of business. And then we tried to get replacement parts. We had problems sourcing that. So we started making replacement parts for Apogee speakers, actually. That's how it all started. And of course, after you fix about 10 pairs, you kind of find out what you like, what you don't like, and where they save money and where they shouldn't have saved money. And so we started making our speakers, and we have built probably like 50 pairs already of various combinations, trial and error, to end up what we have right now.
All right. One question that I know my friend OCD Mikey will ask is, where are they made?
Yeah, they're made in Hanoi. Yeah, absolutely. They're made in Hanoi, proudly.
Okay.
And we have a team of 6 people there. We're a very small operation, small thing. But everything you see here is made in-house. I mean, the drivers, the magnet structure, the aluminum work, all the crossovers. We make our own resistors even, our own inductors. So everything is built in-house by a dedicated team.
That's interesting to know. Yesterday I heard you talking about the fact that if anyone had issues, you would fly into wherever they live and address any issues that the speaker may have, right? That's
absolutely, yes. I mean, if you buy this pair of speakers Auditorium, you have about 1,000-pound shipping weight. We built these speakers extremely well. So shipping these things back and forth, really, first of all, you don't want to deal with that from a logistic perspective. And another thing is, if you have these speakers, you don't want any downtime. Right? So if you have any problem at all, then we'll just fly to you and we'll fix them right in your home. What's important here to know is that the treble and the mid-range units are completely modular. So you can unscrew them in the back and take the entire modular assembly right out. And you can manually retension them as well, so there's no need for any service work.
Interesting that you said that, because one of the biggest things that I keep reading is the fact that ribbon begins to loosen up over time. and then you have to retighten it or something like that. That's what I read.
No, not really. The aluminum,
Explain that. That's great.
Yeah. So basically, the only time where you would loosen them is if you have like a transport and you have a lot of movement during transportation. Then of course you can loosen the ribbon up, or if you like completely overdrive it over an amplifier that oscillates, and you get a DC offset where you push the magnet outside of the spectrum. But our ribbons are actually corrugated, so it's like a spring. So if the driver actually goes outside and exerts, it goes back to its natural resting position, unlike, for example, a Mylar-type speaker or electrostatic speaker, where once you bend the foil, it never goes back to its natural resting space. This is an aluminum spring. It always goes back to its resting space.
How long have you guys been in business now?
14 years.
14 years. Okay. And current MSRP for those speakers?
So those speakers are 140,000 US, shipped and set up. We have two versions smaller, which is 58,000, and it starts at 33,000 a pair. In Europe, we have a different model with weaker magnets for a lower price, but in America, we're only doing the neodymium version, which also has wider ribbons, because when you use the stronger magnetic field, you can also use a wider ribbon driver and cross them over lower to get more of the ribbon sound.
Okay. And as far as like power handling, give us a little more about that. How much power do they require to really come to life? Because a lot has been said about ribbons being extremely difficult loads, and so tell us a little bit about the demands, the power demands of the speaker, how, the impedance, I mean, all of that.
It's easy, easy speaker. So the good thing is here the impedance stays completely steady, and I have the measurements here with me. I can show you that. You can blend that in. So the base panel is double-sided, so it's aluminum capped in aluminum, and you get a 9 ohm resistance on the base panel. So it's super easy. It doesn't drop 9 ohms flat. The mid-range is 4 ohms flat, and the treble ribbon is 3.3 ohms flat, so you have no variancy in the frequency range.
Okay.
Efficiency is about 88 decibels per watt per side, single channel. And the original Apogees had single-sided panels and smaller ribbons. And actually, the lower you get, the lower the impedance is. So the bigger model is actually easier to drive than the smaller model. It's a bit of a twisty thing in your mind, but that's the way it is electronically.
What are the current lead times for the speaker if someone were to order a pair?
So if you want to order a pair right now, by the way, you can choose any color that you want. There's no upcharge at all.
Great, no upcharge.
No upcharge, any color you want. Because, I mean, if you spray red paint or black paint, it makes no difference, right? So the time is exactly the same. Lead time is about 6 weeks, and it takes us actually 5 people working 6 weeks to build these speakers.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So it's all hand built.
It's all hand built.
What's special about an external crossover? As you guys can see right now on the screen, I want him to talk about the crossover. Go ahead.
Okay, so here we are at our external crossover. For this show, we put an acrylic cover on top so you can see inside and see the parts quality. So there are several reasons to put them outside of the speaker. So one is a space constraint inside the speaker. And the other one is you separate it from the magnetic field. And so you can lower the resonance and you can lower the impact that the speaker magnetic field has on the crossover components. What's special on these parts here is that we make our own carbonate resistors. So these long bars you see in here later on the video, that's actually a carbonate film passively cooled. It really gives you a much more clearer mid-range than conventional resistors. We make our own inductors, and all of the capacitors we use are Jensen audio, and we use those in every single speaker. So no matter if you buy the small one, middle, or the large one, you get the same high-quality crossover parts and the same high-quality components.
Okay, guys, well, thank you for your time. Guys, you have been asking me about these speakers in the comment section of the videos, so I wanted to give you more information from the horse's mouth. Thank you for answering all these questions, concerns. Hopefully you do really well with this speaker. What I heard was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Incredible sound. It's just a wall of sound.
And one thing I want to add, Jay, these speakers don't need they don't need any room treatment. You need to put them in a room.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because they're a dipole, they don't need sidewall absorption and panels and diffusion and all this other stuff. Don't need any of that.
That's even greater. That's more of an appealing factor to me, because I don't have to worry about spending a lot of money treating the room, which is the case for a lot of different loudspeakers. Guys, that's all I got. Thank you for your time. Continue to subscribe. Peace.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jay.
Awesome.